Hello, this is Alex from cables.gl, and today I am joined by Stefan from the
Hi.
OnDev team.
Hi there.
Yo, so we have a really cool setup here. We're going to try out and demo the multiplayer / remote viewer feature of Cables that is brand new since the last release of Cables that came out a few weeks ago. And my goal is to show that you basically use this new feature to test multiple operating systems and mobile devices from a single workstation, for example. And then you can see all the changes that you make to your patch inside the editor. So we have the scene of this kind of example that we are working on together that we want to show to another client or something like that, or another team member. We got to prepare this thing together, and we're working on it inside the editor at the same time. So whenever we add things to the patch, it will show up across all of our devices, and we can say like, okay, this needs to be cropped in a little bit more, or this model is a bit too big, or this actually doesn't work on mobile. There could be instances of that. And then we're going to get into the super freaky feature, which is multiplayer, where I can hand over the controls of my patch to you, and then you will add things live inside the editor to the patch that then I can see on my devices as you add it. I guess that's the concept we got.
Sounds great, actually.
Yeah, let's go for it. So we have the scene with a GLTF model in the front here on this pedestal, and the pedestal is looking a little bit shabby, like it's totally flat, and I need to work on that. And I think I want some font maybe behind it as well, and I'm going to use the new extrusion feature that we got from the last release. And by the way, this model, I'm going to leave a link below in the description. It's really cool. I got it from Sketchfab, fantastic artist. And all right, so let's get into it. Right now, I am in my patch, and I need to connect my other devices to this session, this remote viewer session, right? Guide me through this, Stefan, because I'm actually not that expert at it yet.
Yeah, we kind of added a new option to the patch menu. So if you go over the patch name where it says copy of new project, then you will find that we have view and patch page as we view patch page that we had before, and now we added a QR code as well. And now we have the kind of same thing that appears in your patches and in patches you're a collaborator with. And now you can open this in a new window, or as we do now, open this on mobile. This will then open a new window, or it will load your browser on mobile with the current state of the patch. And basically, you have like the renderer part, what we call the right side, now on your mobile, presenting the state of the patch at the current time, and everything you change in the patch, like adding operators and everything will be, or changing value use in materials, colors, as we want to do, will then reflect on the other device. This requires a network connection, obviously, because we're sending this via network. But it's a really convenient way, as we will see really soon, to debug stuff on different browsers, operating systems, mobile devices, and everything. So let's go for it.
Well, what I got is you said I can actually open it in a new window. So that means, well, let's try it. It opens a full screen version of this patch. And now
and as you can see, the patch loads. Your orbit controls are working as expected.
Right. I'm interacting with this version. Yeah.
Yeah. This is interactive, so it's not a rendering or video or something. So all the controls you put into your patch are available in remote viewer. So yeah, that's a good idea. So if you do this right now and then change some color or change the position of the model, we have to go back and forth between the
right. But it's cool because I can put this on another monitor, like a big one. So maybe I can, maybe like, you know, sometimes you get to a point where you know, font material has a billion different settings that I want to work on, but I also want to see this bigger. but then I have this not enough area to see all my parameters. So I can actually make my parameters really big, and then go to my this one. That was my my font. That was a spoiler for the font we're gonna use later. I'll also link it. Don't worry about it. So now I have this window here, which I can keep on a other monitor or like full screen to check, what I'm changing. So if I will, for example, remove my pedestal completely, and that's another part I'm going to get into later. Then it's removed on my other tab. Okay. Right.
Yes, same on mobile then, right? So all the changes that you make to your patch, like you just did with disconnecting ops or connecting ops, they will instantly reflect on all the connected windows. Basically, you can do this multiple times. Also, you can open this in multiple tabs, multiple browsers, multiple devices, whatever.
So like I can actually open this in a new window and then copy paste this URL into another browser. And then,
yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yep. So let me actually open a mobile tab with this project, with this session, and then we'll get into it. I'm going to actually record, and hopefully this works. I'm going to maximize this a bit. Alrighty. So I got this other tab open where I already prepped some of the things that I want to add to my project. And I'm going to record this on my mobile.
And the goal of the whole thing is like we're basically just now copying over ops. It's not so much about what we do with the patching. It's more about seeing how the changes reflect instantly on all the devices. And as you can see, like when we joined with a remote viewer, you will see this small additional navigation bar appear next to the patch navigation.
Oh, yeah.
And this will give you some information, like the small mobile icon is our icon for the remote viewer. And this will also tell you, hey, we're Chrome Mobile on Android. And you can always send a resync command. So if stuff is out of sync, for example, if your mobile phone got into lock screen and you open it again, then you might not have the correct state. So now if you press send resync command, or if you would press send resync command, the patch would basically reload on that device that you just selected.
Yeah, it's doing that now and reloading the 3D model. But anyway, so I want to add the stuff that I worked on in another version of the patch where I need this font, and I'm going to just cut it and then go into my patch that we're going to present to our secret client, and then I'm going to add it into the patch. And you should be able, yep, it's on my mobile now. Great. And then maybe I'll just do this box as well. Cool.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's all nice and easy. You don't have to like stray away from your usual workflow of patching. It's just synchronized as you go. You can copy paste and yeah, basically adjust everything as you're using cables, and the remote viewer will always reflect the current state of your patch and your settings basically.
Nice. Yeah, I can I'm already if I'm going to include this mobile recording on top of this one, and then you might notice that it's a bit difficult for me to orbit really quickly. So maybe for mobile, I need to try something like a different setting for the orbit control. So I'm just editing it live right now in the parameter panel, and then you'll see that on the mobile device, now it's rotating a lot faster. Cool. Actually, nice. I'm going to adjust this texture because it's a bit too dark. I'm going to unplug this, plug this, and then do it like so. Cool. Well, I guess I'm done, right? So I'm happy with this. And then
Yeah, I'm not.
yeah, sorry. Well, you know what? I think maybe you should do it then, because it would be weird for you to tell me what to do, right? How about I invite you to my session? You got the link, right?
Yeah, I got the link. So first of all, maybe let's just quickly go into this
Yeah.
because it's also really missed. If you click on the patch name again, and then you will see patch settings, and then you will see a tab that is called collaboration. So whenever you're a collaborator and you added or invited people to the patch, they are a collaborator, they can edit everything. And if these collaborators then join the same patch at the same time, as I'm now trying to do, you will see, you can close this again, I think, because then in the multiplayer bar, as we call it, you see me appearing, like I'm there,
I see,
and I'm
yeah.
kind of blurred out, and on my screen it now says join. Because you have a remote viewer, you're already in kind of a multiplayer session. So I can now join this, and then I will see what you're doing. So if you do something,
I see your mouse. Yeah.
You also see my mouse, right? And you will also see something like, hey, can you quickly clean this up? It's like really, I don't know, it annoys me. Can you like
Okay, sorry. I'll
put
just
this
remove
up
it.
by 5 pixels or something like? Yeah, that's a lot better. So this now is all clean and tidy, and I see that you basically added this before, so that's where we're going. But then I kind of still don't like the colors. I don't like the black background, and maybe
maybe
in
the
general.
pedestal. This one.
So right now I'm following what you're doing, and we call this, you're the pilot of this now. So any one person that's a collaborator and in a multiplayer session can be the pilot. And their changes will then be also transmitted to everyone else. So let me be the pilot. For this, I click on the icon of the pilot that has the pen right next to it. And for me, it says, okay, request pilot seat.
Yeah.
This pops up for you, and now you have 20 seconds to accept or decline my request. If you don't do anything in 20 seconds, we will accept this. This is so people don't
if they're like out to lunch or something.
Yeah, or something like this. So if you accept this, then we will see that it now says you're following Stefan in a multiplayer session.
Exactly.
Editing is restricted. So now I can work on the patch, and we still have the marking of the areas, and you will follow my mouse. And you will also see all the ops that I selected and their current state, basically.
Right, but I can't interact with it, right? Yeah. Because you are the pilot.
I mean, you have the areas to hint me, and it also makes sense, I guess, to, as we do now, have a voice chat all the time. But as I said, I don't like the black background, so let me see if I can somehow quickly fix this. So I'm putting in a clear color, and the black I don't like, so let's do something like this, I guess. And as you can see, the same thing as with the remote viewer, your changes to the patch, like my changes to the patch, are reflected to your renderer, but in this case also to your editor. So you saw that that the clear color appeared, and if I now disconnect this again, then it will disconnect. You will see where I'm at. And this you can basically do with everything. We just added the clear color, changed the color. But I can also do this with the font material. So let's also change the color of the pedestal. So this is nice, I guess, if no one asks any person with like an idea of color.
No, it's great. It's fantastic.
And as with everything, so now I can also do, like, I transform this, and you see this is being reflected in real time. It's a real nice way to hand over control and maybe work on the final steps of a project, do like small adjustments and work with that.
Cool. So I guess that's
So maybe to show that you could now, like now I'm done, and you say, hey, this blue is really crap, or you
Yeah.
don't like the red. So now, as I did before, you click on my icon that has the pen
So
now
the one
to
with the
indicate the
pen.
pilot.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I go to request pilot seat.
And now I have the same pop-up appearing, and now I accept this. And now it says you're the pilot in a multiplayer session, and now you're in charge.
Nice.
Again.
Yeah. Very cool. Now I can undo all your changes. Yeah, this is sweet. I think very, very new, interesting step in the way to collaborate inside Cables GL. Pretty exciting. And yeah, I feel like we pretty much covered it all, right?
Yeah,
What
I
else is
think
there?
so. I mean, there's a few more options. So if you, for example, it has a leave button. So if you're in a multiplayer session and you don't want anything to don't press it now yet. Don't want anything to do with it, but go back to old style of Cables where you had to press F5 and for reloading the remote viewer a lot of times, and also communicating to people, I'm in the patch. Then you can always leave, and then you're back to normal. And this three dots menu also gives you the option to load the last saved version. So if we do this, we basically destroy what we did, and also remove the nice logo.
Yeah, all the stuff that I added. Yep. Because I still haven't saved it. Yeah.
But if you do this, then this will also reload on my side, right? So
yeah.
You
and on my mobile phone.
On your mobile phone and everything. So we put in some, because this synchronization is like obviously network heavy, and some things might go wrong in transmission. We put in a few things that, first of all, it's optional. You don't have to join a multiplayer session. You can work the old version if you want. You can always leave, and you can always resync with the remote viewer. You can also resync with the pilot if you're not the pilot, and the pilot can always go back to the last saved version if something should be weird due to network issues, or even you just did a mistake, or didn't like what the other person was doing while being pilot.
Right. And also I can create backups as we're working on this stuff as well.
Yeah, this you can always do. Yeah, right.
Yeah, sweet. I think we pretty much covered it. I think everyone should try this out. This is now live. This, I think it's, of course, tell me more, like, how did this come to be really? Because I remember it started more as a remote viewer. So this was for testing across devices, and then suddenly there was multiplayer. Like, what?
Yeah, it kind of shifted back and forth. So we wanted multiplayer having like this collaboration feature for a long time, and then we started doing this remote viewer, which is a nice debugging tool. Like, again, I said this before, it's not like you're not remote rendering basically whatever you have. So as said, for example, your orbit controls will be on the device. But that's a nice part of it, that you actually can test on multiple devices, especially different resolutions, different browsers, different operating systems. And we have to do this a lot in in projects. And so we kind of made it possible to have a setup where you actually have like 5 to 6, like an iPad and an Android phone and an iPhone, maybe a Mac, a Windows machine, whatever, to actually test this and position this correctly. And this gets really interesting if you do stuff like you did with the orbit controls, with gate triggers, if true then things. So if you're then setting this to speed 10 on mobile phones only, but you keep it at 1 on desktop by using browser info, for example, whatever, I'm rambling. But this is how this came to life. And then we say, hey, if we're sending patch information or via the network anyhow, then we might just update the patch state and all the variables, because we have them anyhow. And then, yeah, this came into life. And then we kind of liked the idea of doing this not super collaborative thing where everyone can work at the same time. but having this handover, which kind of saves us. I mean, remote viewer saves us pressing our reload button a lot of times in different browsers and mobile devices. And this basically saves us for talking to each other a lot. While like, can I go into
like
the patch? Are you out of
videos.
the patch? Yeah, also recording videos. And even if you don't do multiplayer, it's a nice information to see who's in the patch right now. Because even if I right now I leave the multiplayer session, then I will fade out at the top, and you will still see, okay, someone's in here, and then maybe you have like a reason to ask me, hey, are you working on this currently, or can I go in?
Yeah, and again, like the permissions are based on the patch settings and the collaboration, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me think. For public patches, you always see who's looking at your patch. It was also really nice if you make a patch public and publish it on Twitter and go in there and see, oh, there's like 20 people looking at my patch right now. But all these collaboration features are restricted. No, they are available for collaborators in the patch. So whenever you want to work together on a patch with someone, invite them to the patch via this collaboration tab and patch settings. Then they have to open the patch. They will be given a, do you want to accept the invitation hint? And then you can start working on this.
Yeah, excellent. I really amazing thing. Like you start to discover more ways of using this as you use it, because yeah, of course, testing it across devices is nice. You can check the colors, for example, on mobile, but then you get into cool stuff like, all right, like my orbit controls are too slow for this particular device, or on this device they're actually perfect. So I need to make an extra like check, or I need to develop a little bit my patch to do a check, like is he on mobile, is he on desktop, and I can do this live and then save it and then resynchronize my mobile device and immediately test it. So it becomes not just a like a remote testing, browser testing thing that we're all, I guess, quite used to, but this is like cross-platform development that then morphs into cross-team member development. I love it. Yeah. Super cool.
I'm really looking forward to see maybe someone has some more creative uses for this. Maybe it's more than a debugging tool, but let's see what comes out of it. I would love to hear some feedback, and also if something doesn't work, as always, like write in the comments, contact us on Discord, create discussions on GitHub.
Yeah, come hang out with us on Discord, and I'll link all that stuff below. Anyway, thanks a lot, Stefan. That was great. Hoping everyone enjoys working together a bit more inside multiplayer cables.
Yes.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.